journey home to your heart. Storytelling agents in America. Welcome to our home Storytopia. Asian America.
Once upon a time,
Storytopia.
not so long ago.
Once upon a time.
Storytopia.
Asian America. Storytopia.
Hi, my name is Yasu. Welcome to Asian American Storytopia. It's so great to see you. Today, we will take you into a fun, exciting journey through stories and arts. So, are you ready? Let's get started.
Hello, my name is Anne Shimojima. I am Japanese American because over 100 years ago, my grandparents left Japan and came all the way to the United States to start a new life. Now, I live in Illinois. This story is called Badger and the Magic Fan. It is a folktale from Japan. One day, Badger went walking through the forest when he came upon 3 children playing with a fan. Now, they were not ordinary children. They were Tengu children. In Japan, the Tengu is a magical supernatural creature. Tengu are all red. They have long noses. And the fan they were playing with was no ordinary fan. It was a magic fan. It was round, it had a long handle, was covered with feathers, and when you fanned your nose with one side up, your nose would get longer and longer and longer. And if you fanned your nose with the other side up, your nose would get shorter and shorter and shorter. And the Tengu children were having a good time making their noses long and short and long and short and long and short. When Badger saw that fan, he wanted it. Now, Badger was no ordinary badger. He could do magic too. He could turn himself into anything he wanted. So Badger turned himself into a young girl carrying a sack of mochi, sweet rice cakes with a sweet bean filling. Yummy. The girl, who was really Badger, walked up to the Tengu children and said, "I have a bag of mochi. Would you like one?" Oh, yes, they all wanted one. They all put out their hands, and Badger put a mochi in each child's hand, and then looked in the bag and said, "Oh, I have plenty more. Would you like another one?" Oh, yes, they all wanted another one. And the Tengu child holding the fan dropped the fan in order to get another mochi. Badger ran up, grabbed the fan, and ran off. Now he had the fan. What was he going to do with it? He went walking down the road until he came to the biggest house in the village, owned by a very wealthy man. He walked in back of the house. There was a large, lovely garden. And in the middle of the garden was the wealthy man's beautiful daughter lying in the grass, fast asleep. And Badger thought, ho, ho, ho. He walked up to her, took his fan, and began to fan her nose. Her nose got longer and longer and longer, and Badger kept fanning until her nose was 3 feet long. And then he left. When the girl opened her eyes and saw her nose, she started to scream. Her parents came running, and when they saw her nose, they started to scream too. Her father took her to all kinds of doctors, but nobody could make her nose go back to its proper size. So her father made an announcement to the whole village. Any man who could come and fix his daughter's nose, why, he would give that man half of all his money and his daughter's hand in marriage. This is what Badger was waiting for. First, he turned himself into a handsome young man. Then he went to the wealthy man's house and announced he was a nose fixer. They took him right up to the daughter's bedroom where she had been hiding ever since this terrible thing had happened. Badger looked at her and said, "Yes, I can fix her nose, but you'll all have to leave the room. I like to work alone." So everybody left the room. Badger took his fan and he began to fan her nose. Her nose got shorter and shorter and shorter until it was its proper size once again. She was so happy. Her parents were so happy. Her father said to Badger, "I will give you half of all my money, and you may marry my daughter." And the daughter was happy too, because when she looked at Badger, she saw a handsome young man. Badger went down to the garden. He was feeling good. He sat against a tree, leaned back, closed his eyes, and thought about his wonderful life to come. He was going to be rich. He was going to have a beautiful wife. He took out his fan and began to fan his face. He wasn't paying attention to what he was doing. His nose started to grow longer and longer and longer. It went up into the sky through the clouds. Now, there were some heavenly beings up in the sky. They were building a bridge across the heavens, but they had to stop. They had run out of building materials. They needed one more pole. But what was this? Coming up through the clouds? It looked like the perfect pole. They went over and grabbed it and took it over to the bridge and fastened it on very firmly. Down below on Earth, Badger woke up. What was happening? Oh, he saw his nose going straight up into the sky. Quickly, he took his fan, turned it around, and began to fan his nose as quickly as he could. But his nose was fastened so firmly to the bridge that Badger began to rise higher and higher into the sky. He went through the clouds. He disappeared. He has never been seen again. I think he got what he deserved, don't you? And that's the story.
Ta-da! Hi!
I'm
Hi.
Robert.
I'm Nancy.
And we are
Eth-Noh-Tec. We are storytellers here to play a little game with you.
But first,
Oh, wait.
we should.
Take off our masks.
You can see we
We're-
wear masks.
We're family, so we don't have to wear our masks.
Yeah.
But you should wear it whenever you're out or with people that are not part of your family bubble.
Be safe and have fun.
Yeah, keep everyone safe. So today's game is about using things not for what they are made for, but for something else. But we'll
Pretending.
start first with Robert, how he uses his flute and plays music in our storytelling.
It's a real flute from China called dizi. Say dizi. Dizi. But I don't always use it as a flute. In fact, I might pretend it's something else, like this.
And what is that? Yes, a walking stick or a cane.
That's right. Or I might pretend it's a...
Aha! That's right, a toothbrush. And one more, Robert.
Okay.
There he goes. That's right, an oar for a rowboat. Well, we have several things in this box that you can use, very ordinary things from your household that you can get from your parents. A ruler, tape, a rope, very safe, unsharp scissors, and a box. And the game is to use these not for what they were made for, but using your imagination to use them as something else. For example, tape. But I'm going to use it as a... Yes, it is beautiful, isn't it? Bracelet, that's right. Robert, here is a ruler.
A ruler. Okay.
That's right. A comb or a brush. How about, Robert,
Oh, the
box.
box. A box is more than a box. For I command this from my throne. Everyone must save their boxes for fun.
Thank you. Then just see, there is the rope.
Rope.
Let's see.
So beautiful.
Scarf, that's right. Robert, safe scissors.
Oh, safe scissors. Okay. Oh.
A butterfly, that's right. So, this is for you to play with. A box, ordinary scissors,
safe ones.
A rope, a ruler, and tape. And the game is so much fun. Oh,
One more ingredient.
that's right. You know what? What if you use more than one thing at a time? What if you use two things at a time? Like, here's a ruler, here's a box, and I'm going to, I can't wait. That's right. A spoon and a bowl. Or, Robert, how about these two?
Oh, those two. These two. Oh, well, I know there's a clue around here somewhere. Oh, there it is. Some cat hair.
So, yes, a magnifying glass. So you can do one thing at a time, but when you get really, really past all those one things, try two things. And sometimes you can even try three things. Put them all together to make something.
And the most important ingredient is your imagination.
So have fun with your family, with your cousins, and your friends across the country through Zoom. And we'll see you later. Have fun. Bye-bye.
I'm Toby, and I'm Japanese American. About 100 years ago, my grandparents came from Japan to the United States to make it their new home. I live in Olympia, Washington. When I was going to school, my mom would make all of our lunches. Each one of us had a little box called obento box, and inside she would put sandwiches and usually a side of fruit. Now, once in a while, she would make us rice balls, or onigiri in Japanese. When I was in the 3rd grade, there were 2 subjects that I absolutely loved. The first one was recess, and the second, lunch. Now, at my school, we didn't have a cafeteria, so we all ate in the classroom. And when 12 o'clock noon struck, it was lunch, I would take out my box, open it up, and there were the rice balls. They were so yummy. Now, sitting next to me was Henry. Henry always had his traditional bologna sandwich. But besides that, he had something that my mother would never, ever get for us. It was a Hostess Twinkie. After he would eat his bologna sandwich, he would get that crinkly wrapper, take out that yellow sponge cake, which I knew was filled with that ooey, gooey, marshmallowy sweetness. He'd eat it all up, and all that was left was his white bit of frosting on his chin. Well, one day, Henry actually looked at what I was eating. Hey, what's that, Toby? Oh, it's a rice ball. Is it good? Oh, yeah, it is so yummy. What's inside of it? Oh, well, this one is full of scrambled eggs. And I thought, you want to try one? Yeah, sure. So I picked one of the rice balls up, and I was just about to give it to him when I thought, hey, Henry, I'll trade this rice ball for your Hostess Twinkie. Yeah, okay, why not? And so we made the trade. And he took that onigiri and he bit into it, and his eyes just popped up. Hey, this is pretty good. And he ate it all up. And then I got that Hostess Twinkie, and I took it out of that crinkly wrapper, and there was that yellow sponge cake, and oh, that ooey gooey marshmallow white frosting sweetness just tantalized each one of my taste buds. It was heavenly. I ate it all too fast. The next day, Henry brought his traditional bologna sandwich, but this time he didn't have a Hostess Twinkie. Instead, he had something my mother would never, ever let us have. It was a Hostess Ding Dong. It's a chocolate cupcake that is coated with this hard, dark chocolate covering. Inside is that ooey gooey marshmallow sweetness. I wanted it. Then I thought, what could my mother make next so I can make a trade? How about you? What would you do for a trade? What? Wait a minute, what was that? Good one. And you, how about you? What would you do for a trade?
Hope you had a fun, exciting journey through stories and arts. Please give us a thumbs up to the video and please don't forget to subscribe Asian American Storytopia channel so that you don't miss any exciting updates from us. We cannot wait to see you at the next episode. またね! That is a see you in Japanese. So, またね!